You know, you see those incredible show dogs in the ring, looking absolutely perfect, and you can't help but wonder, wow, what does it actually take to get there? It's so easy to just see the shiny coat and that blue ribbon, but the real story, the true cost, well, it goes so much deeper. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the real investment behind showing an American Pit Bull Terrier.
So let's just put the question right out there. What does it really, truly cost to win that blue ribbon? You'd think it's a simple question, right? But the answer? Well, it's way more complex than you might imagine. We're going to break down every single piece of that commitment, from the dollars and cents to the things that, frankly, money just can't buy.
Because here's the honest truth. That entry fee you pay to get into the show, that is just the tiny, tiny tip of a massive, and I mean massive, iceberg. So let's start diving down and see what's really hiding under the surface.
Okay, before we even start dreaming about shows or ribbons, we have to talk about the absolute foundation. These are the non-negotiable costs of just being a responsible dog owner. This is the stuff you're paying for whether you ever step foot in a ring or not.
We're talking about the absolute essentials here. High-quality food that can actually fuel an athlete. Consistent vet care to keep them healthy and sound. And something people forget, that emergency fund for when life throws you a curveball. See, none of this is about the show ring. It's just about giving your dog the best life possible.
And this is the key. You've got to get this part straight. None of what we just mentioned is a show expense. Nope. It's just the price of admission for being a responsible, loving dog owner. This is our ground floor, our baseline. Everything else we're about to talk about gets stacked right on top of this.
All right, so you've got that solid foundation completely covered. Now you make the decision you want to compete. Well, this is the moment where the investment really starts to escalate, and things get a whole lot more specialized.
And boom, right out of the gate, your wallet is going to feel it. A show-conditioned APBT is a serious athlete, and they absolutely eat like one. We're talking about potentially doubling their food intake. Seriously, imagine your grocery bill just doubling overnight. That's the kind of fuel these dogs need. And it's not just about shoveling in more food. You need the right equipment to build that athlete safely and properly. This isn't just a random shopping list. It's a specific, thought-out toolkit. You're building strength with things like spring poles, boosting their endurance with a treadmill, and, this is so important, making sure they can recover properly afterward.
This right here is a massive mindset shift for people. Conditioning isn't some quick 2-week tune-up before a show. Real conditioning is a long-term, patient journey. If you try to rush it, you're just asking for an injury. Building a true canine athlete is a marathon, not a sprint.
So, you've put in the work, you've done the prep. Now it's finally show day. And this is where all those little logistical costs, the ones that are so easy to forget about when you're planning, suddenly start to pile up like crazy.
All of a sudden, you're not just thinking about the dog, you're dealing with travel, gas, tolls, maybe a hotel for the weekend. You need gear just to keep them safe and comfortable on the road, like a solid crate and cooling fans. Then there's all the little supplies, and of course the entry fees themselves. And here's the kicker. If you're showing more than one dog, all of these numbers start multiplying, and they multiply fast.
Okay, we've talked about the money, we've talked about the gear, but honestly, all of that is the easy part. Now we need to talk about the rest of that iceberg, the massive part that's hidden deep below the surface. This is the hidden investment, and it's by far the most significant cost of all.
Think about it like an old-school scale. On one side, you've got all those financial costs we've been tallying up, but on the other side, weighing just as much, if not more, are the personal costs. We're talking about your time, your focus, your emotional energy, your heart. This is the stuff you can't put a price tag on.
And time. Time is the biggest currency you have here. Look at this. The daily conditioning is a huge chunk of your life. But then a quarter of your time is just spent on travel. Add to that the hours you spend studying the breed standard, training, and here's one you might not expect, the time you give back to the community, helping at shows or mentoring newcomers. This isn't the weekend hobby. It's a complete lifestyle.
So after hearing all of that, the money, the time, the sheer effort, you have to be asking yourself, why? Why on earth would anyone do this? Because the real payoff, the real reason people pour their souls into this, it has almost nothing to do with a piece of ribbon.
It all boils down to this one really powerful idea: breed preservation. Winning is great, but it's secondary. The real goal is to present a dog that is a perfect example of its breed, in its structure, in its mind, and in its spirit.
It's about being a guardian of a legacy.
You see, every single well-bred, well-conditioned dog that steps into that show ring is a living, breathing contribution to the APBT's heritage. It's a statement. It's saying, this is what this breed is, and this is what it should continue to be for generations to come.
And it goes beyond the ring, too. It's about positive representation. Let's be real. In a world that's full of misinformation about these dogs, a well-mannered, confident, and healthy dog out in public is the single best ambassador for the breed. It quietly but powerfully shatters those negative stereotypes.
And finally, there's the human side of it, the community. These shows become the hub where everyone connects. It's where veteran breeders share decades of knowledge with brand new owners. It's where everyone works together, shoulder to shoulder, to support and nurture the future of the breed they all love.
So when you add it all up, when you see the whole picture, you realize that showing a dog, it's not just a hobby, it's an act of stewardship. It's a deep commitment to protecting and promoting a breed you love with your whole heart. So the real question isn't, can you afford it? The real question is, are you ready for that kind of responsibility?